Yeah. If you fuck with winning, put your lighters to the sky. How could I make sense when I got millions on my mind? Coming with that bullshit.
What's up guys, T-Han. Today I'm going to be going over another build video, and today we're going to be going over the lockdown defender. Well, this archetype it's a pretty good archetype. It's really slept on. People, they underestimate it. They think that all they can do is play defense and they have no offense. That is not the case. They're pretty good at dunking layups. They're pretty good, and they can shoot the mid-range as long as you have your hot spots and your mid-range is maxed out. Other than that, I mean, their defense is phenomenal. You can pick the ball off, and it seems like recently they released a patch where you can steal the ball a lot easier, which just made this build, I would say, pretty close to being overpowered. Now, as far as your position, I do not recommend going point guard. The reason is as a lockdown defender, you want to try to get matched up with slower people. You want to try to get matched up with like the small forwards and ideally the power forwards and center. The reason is because they're slower, they have less ball handling, unless of course they're a small forward, point forward. They have less ball handling, which makes it easier for you to steal the ball. On top of that, with their shots and everything being lower, and you having defensive stopper, it's a lot less of a chance of them making their shots. So ideally you want to get matched up against the big guys, but if you do occasionally get matched up against small fast people, you should be able to hold your own. It's not a big deal. Just don't really expect to be doing too much offensively if you're going up against the small people. So with that, let's talk about the height. I see a lot of people go 6'8". I do not recommend going 6'8". You're just really slow, and there's just really no reason. 6'7", you're faster. You get a higher vertical. You can shoot better. It's just I don't know what it is. The stats for 6'8" just really don't add up compared to the 6'7". 6'8", yeah, you're a little bit taller, so you can get up there a little bit better for rebounds. But in my opinion, if you're going to be 6'8", you might as well just be a small forward, and it would guarantee you a chance of being bigger. That's why I say 6'7". And you can go with a point guard, but like I said, I don't recommend point guard because you're going to be getting up against smaller people. They're going to be fast. So I would say 6'7" shooting guard is probably the ideal height. Wingspan, it is your decision. If you would rather be a shooting lockdown defender, I would say minimize it. Me personally, I use my lockdown defender as kind of a big man, so I max it out. It's for that rebounding and everything like that. It gives you a higher reach for when you're trying to rebound, when you're trying to block shots, when you're trying to go up for dunks. It's just, in my opinion, max out the wingspan. It's just all around better. Now, for the weight, this is kind of it's kind of a weird weight. Usually when you see me do my weights, I usually do it on like the zeros and fives. So like 175, 200, 205, 210, etc., etc. With this, I honestly think the best weight is 232. The reason is because you don't want to be too slow. It's just, if you're too slow, you won't be able to keep up with everybody, and then that kind of defeats the whole point of you playing defense. If you're too light, you're not really going to be able to do anything again in the paint against centers. To me, between 230 and 235, I would even say 235 is a little too much, but 230 to 235 is your range. I went with 232 because it's right there with the center, as is 233. It's just I went with a little bit lighter. Me personally, I recommend 232 because you'll still have the speed, the strength, and you'll still be able to get up for rebounds. Shoulder width, max it out again, unless you want to be a shooting lockdown defender. Now, let me go ahead and say I do not recommend focusing on being an offensive lockdown defender. That just kind of, it doesn't make sense. Lockdown defender, you're supposed to be you're supposed to be good at defense. So I do recommend maxing out the wingspan and the shoulder width. It just gives you, once again, that advantage for rebounds and blocking. Your handed, doesn't matter. Once again, choose right or left. A lot of people say that right-handed or left-handed shoots better. It's not true. Just pick whatever you're comfortable with, and your number, just pick whatever your favorite number is. Now that we have the build aspect of this done, let's go ahead and get into the attributes. Okay, as you can see here, mine's an 89 overall, so I have done some grinding here, but we'll go ahead and use this as an example. For your attributes, of course, your most important one is going to be defending. As well, I would say agility and strength. Agility, strength, and defending are going to be your top three that you want to focus on getting maxed out. After that, I would definitely recommend layups and dunks, and then go either rebounding and playmaking, and then mid-range shooting, of course. But definitely focus on defending, strength, and agility. Those are going to be your three most important attributes. Defending, of course, is going to make it where you play defense better, which is the whole point of a lockdown defender. Strength is going to make it where you can back down people in the paint and also handle getting back down in the paint. So when you do get matched up against those centers, you will have a good chance of keeping them away from the rim. Agility, it's going to make it where you're a lot faster, so you can keep up with those, you know, point guards, shooting guards, small forwards, whatever you're trying to keep up with, and your vertical is going to be higher for you to be able to snag boards. I'll tell you right now, with this 6'7" lockdown defender, you will be able to snag over centers. Glass cleaners, if they know what they're doing, you probably won't be able to because they are quite a bit taller than you. But if you do get matched up against, you know, power forwards, small forwards, anything like that, you will be able to snag over them. Layups and dunks, of course, it's kind of self-explanatory. It's going to give you a better chance at making your layups and dunks. And then I would say the last thing you really want to focus on is, as your main attributes, is mid-range shooting. After that, I mean, you can go whatever you want. You know, your shoot off the dribble, three-pointer, post scoring. I really can't give you a recommendation. These three kind of seem pointless to me, but if I was to have to choose one, I would definitely say three-point shooting, just to have it. Other than that, you know, the attributes are pretty simple. With it being a lockdown defender, there's really nothing crazy about this build. There's nothing, you know, special. You know, it just plays really good defense, and you can do a little bit of offense on layups and dunks. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, leave them down in the comment section below. I will answer you as fast as possible. And other than that, that's about it. So, you know, I hope you guys learned something, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.